Right? Okay, so let's see. We have time for questions, of course. Yes. That is wonderful, really wonderful. Bettina is saying, I'm just repeating that it's like when we have a time of friction and struggle in our life, then we think that something is wrong. Perhaps something is not spiritual. Some people really have it. It's like everything they think is just it's like it's a mistake that needs to be corrected, not a growth process. You see the difference? It's like when I see, oh, why would I have now an external problem? Surely it must be something that I made some inner mistake. Let's correct it and then we'll make it dissolve. It is not there at that. It is there to wake us up. And it is not a mistake. It is not a mistake unless life is a mistake. Life is, let me say it clearly, life is a chain of problems. Okay? This is what it is. There's like always problems. Always. What's wrong? What's the problem? You see? Why do we want life to just be minimized? Then we say, okay, maybe my problem is that I want things. If I will not want anything, then there wouldn't be no problems. Then there are still problems. You see? Because the real problem is our feeling that something is wrong. You see? And our constant wish, like to bring, we have a certain unconscious image of one day bringing all problems to an end. You see? It's like, yes, I only have this left. I will just treat this, and then there will be perfect peace. No, there will be no perfect peace. The peace is only our state of mind, our deepest state of mind, and because, again, deepest, because on other levels, even our state of mind needs to be in contradiction to grow. What's the problem? Why want to end it? If you don't need to end it, you discover happiness and freedom in the midst of all problems, all challenges. You will not wait anymore, you see, for that day in which everything is resolved. No friction, all opposites melt into one perfection. Come on. And again, as I said, so a teacher can bring their personal story to an end. But that is, then they have many other things, you see. It doesn't, the friction is just changing form. That's it. Yes, for example, yes, exactly. For example, I'm happy. For example, this is a major leap that was caused as a result of a friction between our present perception and the new perception. You see? This is it. For example, when we feel stress, you see? Life seems stressful. Then we want life not to be stressful. That creates a new type of stress. The stress that we put on life not to be stressful. Stop being stressful, stop being stressful, stop being stressful. I don't want to feel stress. I don't want to feel stress. Isn't that stress? Why not accept the stress? Say, yeah, life is stressful. Let's glide. Amazingly, you will realize that then life is not stressful. It's just maybe sometimes it's more rushing than at other times. You see? Okay. So you don't have time to breathe. But what if you don't have time to breathe and you don't have problem with it? You know, mothers of babies, also fathers, but sometimes mothers, they need to dedicate more time to it. In the first year, it's like, what it takes is just unbelievable. It's like, because a baby is like a factory of problems. It's like, it just produces problems all day long and all night long also, which is when mothers and fathers they find love driving them in this, they realize that they can do unbelievable things that usually their pampered state would never do. You see? They don't sleep at night, and then they get up. They go to work while taking care of the baby simultaneously, and it's all. Usually, a person would reach madness. In this, I'm not joking, because I know this. It's you reach something that, unless it were your baby, you see, you and all your biology would support that. You would become crazy. But there is love, you see? And this love accepts the challenge. And when we accept the challenge, we are able to do extraordinary things. Because we have actually enormous energy. Our energy is depleted because we resist. Yeah. Okay. Yes. This is a very good question. Is there a wrong and false friction? Countless. Countless wrong and false frictions. But we cannot realize them as wrong unless we go through them. And this is the thing. There is only one really wrong friction, and it is the friction against friction. You see? This is what we talked about today. This is the mother and father of all wrong frictions. Then, if you accept friction, then in a way, all frictions are wrong after you overcome these specific ones, you see? Because you say, oh, what was I doing? Where was I? This was actually a complete, now I understand. Now it's clear. Why did it make me unrested? But when as long as you go through it, you don't know it. You see? Let's give an example of being tormented by a past experience. Okay? Now, is this true friction? Of course not. This is, nothing is in that sense is real, but when you are in it, it is true. It is true. It is real. You see, this is your reality. You are tormented. Then there is the wish to be free from the past, and the past hunting you. Here is a friction. Overcoming it will make you a different human being. Do you have to be tormented by the past? Yes and no. Right? Do you follow what I'm saying or not? Yes, because this is your reality. This is your learning. No, because mentally, rationally, why would you be tormented? Just drop it. Come on. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like I'm meeting a couple in conflict. They are fighting all the time. And I'm saying, come on, enough. Stop it. But they can't, right? I'm telling them, this is a total illusion. Just accept each other. Nice? Right? But they cannot, because there is a learning. So intellectually I can say, this is stupid. Stop it. You know, when couples, they eventually hug and say, why? Why do we even enter this? It's like, why are we doing it to ourselves? Why? Because you're trying to learn something. As long as you do not learn it, it will be there. So as long as the friction exists, it is real. After we overcome this one, and they are endless, then we say, what was that? I didn't. It's like, for example, in spiritual life, we always fight with our thoughts, you see? We say, oh, I don't want to have thoughts. I don't want to have thoughts. It's really, why can't I be quiet? At a certain point, you realize that thoughts are not a problem. So there is no more friction with your thoughts, you see? Then you say, why did I think that thoughts are a problem? They're just there. Do you follow? So there is no reason to say, there is no point to say, this is stupid. This is only the rational mind saying. You know these things that people come to me and say, I don't know why it's like I'm already at this age, why would I still be having troubles with my mother? Keep arguing. What do you mean? And then they say, it's so embarrassing that I still have it. It's not embarrassing. It's your friction. It's your growth process. Your mother will stay in your consciousness. She will still exist until you have learned your true lesson, not the one you want to learn. The one that life wants you to learn. And there is a big, big difference. It's interesting that the collective energy field, it moved from the third chakra to the fourth, and this is surprising. Perhaps not so surprising. Yes? Just drop still. Let's agree that we don't have this, I still have a friction or something, okay?
Okay, whatever.
Because still is always the waiting, that we are impatient. Do you understand? This is like I still have something of ever conflict. Okay? So, yeah. Yeah, like I came to seminars with Shai, so this will pay off. It's like investment in the karma bank, right? Then you go in the next life and you draw. Can I have, I invested some, can I have my savings? Oh, yes, please. You have, with interest also, please. Yes. Yes. Yes, so let's first refer to it and then I will answer the second, okay? So what I will just repeat the sharing, it's all about this friction that Tobias still has between the fact that on the one hand there is the feeling that if he had only 1 year to live, then he would truly spend it on liberation. But if you know that you have like endless future lives and so on, and 40 years more to live, then it can be, let's say, more comfortably spread, the process, like mixed with some fun. I hope you understand, first of all, that the process of liberation doesn't mean that life ends. It's or that we don't experience. It only means how we approach everything we experience. This is very different. You understand? Liberation is not like, okay, I will not do anything. I will not enter relationships. I will not because I don't want. No, on the contrary, do. By all means, do everything. Get into trouble. Yeah. Because otherwise, how can you test yourself? Unless you're totally the monk type, which is very... Where's the other model? Of the first % of the yogi type. On the contrary, live. Make all mistakes. Just work on your approach. This is very different. So first of all, it's not life or liberation. Liberation is our approach to life, just as it is. So please, this is very important. Second, here is the ultimate friction. Life and death. Because, just as you say, without this friction, if we knew, for example, that we would stay unharmed for thousands of years, well, again, I probably wouldn't have great seminars anymore. Because if we manage to conquer death and the danger of death, then very few people would feel the urge to create friction. So death is the ultimate limitation, you see. It gives us time limit. It says here, it ends, and we are not even telling you where it ends. It might end tomorrow, in 10 years, in 50 years. We're not telling. Which is so cruel, that is unbelievable, really. It's like, come on. But this is it, right? So nobody knows. We can have a disease tomorrow. We can live until 120. Nobody knows. And that puts us in quite a situation, because we need to choose how to use our energy, because we could never know. And there is one more horrible thing. Perhaps all this thing with past lives and future lives is nonsense. Perhaps it is nonsense. Perhaps. Who knows? You know? 100%? What, because I'm saying? Because you have some vague memory of being an Egyptian priestess? Come on. Maybe it comes from the collective subconscious. Right? Of course, our mind carries memories from the collective subconscious. Jung said that. So who said that it is yours specifically, or that maybe it is a projection of your own issues and archetypal conflicts? Do you know that you have future lives? No. No. As far as we're concerned, we don't have that. This is why Buddha, he came in the times of the Vedas, when he felt, many people, by the way, think that Buddha was a nice guy. Like he was just coming, you know, all the way in peace and smile. Buddha was actually very controversial. In his teaching, he came as a revolutionary, and he opposed many of the doctrines, and he was criticized. So let us take that into account. Buddha was not just an completely relaxed guy. He came to bring friction. That's why we remember him, right? Because otherwise Buddhism is in a way, looks like Hinduism to a certain degree. But there are differences that are very powerful. So Buddha told his students, there is no soul. Why? He just told them, no, they forget all about future lives and reincarnation and all that. There is nothing. Forget about that. Why did he say that? To make them feel and treat this one lifetime as the only opportunity. Here you are. Free yourself. As far as we're concerned, we don't have future lives. We can't afford believing in it. As far as we're concerned, we don't have 40 years either. We have only one day to understand, and it is today. Now, this doesn't mean that there can be no process and future, and that this understanding of today will not be a building block for tomorrow's understanding, but it means that for today we need to bring our entire energy. You see? We cannot be divided within us in our approach. Onina, again, please, don't stop life. Live and be awake. I always come to you with this approach, you see. I never come as a, okay, let's have a talk, and we'll see. You know that when I sit here, I come with full energy, right? It's never like I'm leaving something for tomorrow. So now the second question would be funny. This would be the last question for now. What was that? How do I know that I had past lives? Again, I had past lives as much as I didn't, as I had none, because I remember them as if they happened yesterday. I remember them very lucidly, just as I remember my early childhood or what I was at the age of 20. I just remember it is here. At the same time, I had them just as I had my childhood and my 20s. I didn't. You see? So this is very important to understand. For me, it's like what my 40 years here, I didn't have them. They are like a dream. They are like thought. At the same time, I remember the past lives, the previous past life, for example, just like as a continuum of biography. It's not even different stories. We remember our past lives for two important things. One is to remember all the mistakes we made in order to hope not to repeat them. Because every present life is simply a repetition of past mistakes. And the second is to awaken our inherent memory of knowledge, of spiritual knowledge. These are the only two reasons. I will not answer more questions. This is already too much. So, if there is any point in remembering, it is in order to see how our present life, we are basically repeating the very same mistakes. We're just, it's what Nietzsche called it the eternal recurrence in another context. But it's like endlessly reliving the very same life. So to break the cycle, we need to become often conscious of what we did or what we were. And the second thing is because there were past efforts made and past learning made. But we need to understand that we shouldn't rely on this, you see? Not as something that adds to us a sense of eternity, false eternity. The sense of false eternity gives us the feeling that we can endlessly postpone that which we need to learn today. Okay. That was quite an intense morning. But we do not resist intensity anymore, right? We are all well trained by now. Very good. We are now going to take a break, of course, and then we meet for a process of expansion in couples. So freshen up, And please friction up. Remember yourself. Okay.